Every time someone catches, breeds, or sees an animal whose name starts with the word half, something bad happens. It may be a good plot for a movie, but usually it is not good for the person who's related to the animal or for the creature itself. This is the case of some recent reports about weird animal combinations that defy our imagination, not to mention the laws of nature. Are you ready to know a little more about how incredible our world is? Cat rats, hybrids between wolves and killer whales, the cat kangaroo. These are the 5 hybrid animals unknown to science. Number 5. Cat Kangaroo Hybrid. In February 2017, a night vision camera captured the weird images of a strange creature in a wooded area in northern Sydney, Australia. The animal, that looks like a hybrid between a kangaroo and a cat, provoked a lot of expectation among people after its images were shared in Facebook. In them, you can see how this small animal sniffs the ground, possibly looking for food. It doesn't seem to be bigger than a cat, and the most curious thing of all is that for a few seconds, it keeps the same posture as a kangaroo, on its 2 posterior legs. Afterwards, it disappears in the dark of the night. The publication of the images divided people in 2 groups. Those who considered that it was a new species, specifically a hybrid between a kangaroo and a cat, and the most skeptic ones claimed that it was possibly a wallaby or a kangaroo of the trees. If we compare this creature to a wallaby, a small marsupial, so small that it's not even considered a kangaroo, we can observe that the back legs are different. The legs of our creature are much smaller than the ones of this marsupial, whose legs are much more similar to those of a kangaroo. They differ even in its way of walking. A wallaby moves doing little jumps, moving its back legs at the same time, while this new Australian little animal seems to move on all 4 legs, the same way as a cat does. As for the kangaroo from the trees, this could be a possibility. The problem is that they differ in almost everything. The shape of its head, ears, snout, and tail being much thicker than the kangaroos from the trees. What do you think that this strange creature might be? A hybrid between species or just a malnourished kangaroo from the trees? Number 4. Cat rats. Let's now travel to the south of Africa, specifically to Lethabong, Rustenburg, where a family found something really disturbing behind one of the kitchen's furniture. Suspecting that it could be rats that fell from the roof and were trapped inside the walls, they decided to call their pastor, although we don't know exactly why. According to the local media, the man destroyed one of the walls with a polishing machine, releasing a series of creatures that they describe as a cross between a cat and a rat. However, despite the fear of the situation, they acted quickly and decided to get rid of all of them. By the time the police arrived to the family's house, the image that they found was devastating. 4 of those animals lay dead, others had been burned, and other 2 were about to get buried. With nothing to shoot and no one to find, the police left. However, someone alerted the RSPCA, the Rustenburg Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, about the killing, whose members didn't like anything that they saw. They informed that, faced with a similar situation to the one the family experienced hours before, people should remain calm and call the emergency number of said association. Killing a creature in such an inhuman way could lead to legal proceedings, so the best thing is to wait until the help arrives. Carl Vandenberg, Rustenburg SPCA inspector, assured that those animals seemed to be a mix between a strange breed of a cat and a rat. According to reports, the RSPCA took the dead bodies of those animals to perform a DNA test on them, while the search of new specimens of hybrids between cats and rats continue to this day. Number 3. Coyote Wolf. Human action on all natural spaces can affect many forms of life. Some species see how their habitats are destroyed and end up being in serious danger, while others end up extinguishing. Precisely the change of habitat is what originated a new predator species in North America. They call it Coyote Wolf. And obviously, its name makes reference to its origins. It is approximately 25% wolf and 66% coyote. The rest of its DNA proceeds from domestic dogs like the German Shepherd or the Doberman. Although hybrid animals usually don't succeed in wildlife, this mix have managed to survive, expand, and even colonize a region to establish. In fact, the population of Coyote Wolf is growing at a fast rate in the eastern side of North America, where it's calculated that there is more than 1 million of exemplars spread over different zones. The key could be in the renewed features of this hybrid. They are considerably bigger and stronger than coyotes, what makes them more dangerous predators. From the wolf, they inherited their sociability, so they learned to hunt in group. They have already been seen defeating imposing opponents, unreachable to natural coyotes like the moose. The worrisome thing for people living near them is that their pets are also among its objectives. They catch squirrels in the park and even dare to attack cats, being able to even crush their bones. Number 2. Birdfish. A fishing amateur in China made the strangest catch in last June of 2018 in the Chinese city of Jiujiang in the Jiangsu province. The fisherman caught a big and unusual fish with carp body and pigeon head. The images of the creature were shared in the Chinese social networks and swiftly aroused the curiosity of internet users. The nickname of birdfish, to refer to the fisherman's curious discovery, extended like gunpowder, like the photographs. Within hours, several debates started to try and elucidate what could really be this creature that many identified like a fish with pigeon or dolphin head. Yang Jing, a Jiangsu Research Institute expert, said that the fish with bird head was in fact a misshapen carp. The expert affirmed that the deformation is more common in the sweetwater species and can originate before birth, by the lack of oxygen or by other causes related to the overexploitation of fishing activity in the zone. Water contamination, genetic mutations, and early-age lesions of the fish could be the possible causes of the abnormal appearance of these fish in general. Number 1. Aclot. In Inuit mythology, the Aclot is a beast that takes the shape of a wolf and a killer whale. We know what you're thinking. This is ridiculous, but there are proofs that could make you change your mind. Its footprints can be recognized entering and exiting from the ocean, but how is it possible to explain this? Science doesn't know much about this species of wolf or its origins. Also, there aren't many myths related to this creature, except from an Inuit popular legend that refers to a man that was obsessed with the sea. One day, after spending a long time near the sea and away from his village, he decided to return home. However, his people were incapable of recognizing him, so they decided to kick him out of the village. In his solitude, he found a wolf pack and he fed himself just like they did, becoming one of the pack. But his affection for the ocean was still there, in the depths of his being, arousing in him a great desire to jump into the water to never come back. That's when he transformed in a killer whale, so it was possible for him to swim like one of them and enjoy the ocean and then go back to his previous shape, as a wolf coming out of the water. There are 3 possible explanations that could clarify the mystery of its supposed footprints in the snow. The first one being that the Arctic wolves have the capacity to swim in icy water, which could explain why there always are footprints coming and going out of the water. The second one is that, as they say, when a pack rejects older Arctic wolves, they kill themselves jumping into the icy waters to drown. However, its survival instinct would lead them to mainland again, explaining, once again, the existence of footprints that come and go into the water. The third explanation is less rational, since it would confirm the theory that there exists a hybrid between a wolf and a killer whale. Despite these possible explanations, we would like to think that we are talking about an unknown wolf species. After all, we love mysteries, don't we? We all have heard about hybrid animals in our lives, but this is not the only anomaly that can be found in the animal kingdom. The bicephalous animals don't just belong to the sci-fi or mythology kingdom. but many animals really exist and suffer from this pathology and could have inspired many of these mythical and legendary monsters. If you want to know the complete story, don't miss our next video.